Welcome to Milton and King's On the Wall podcast, where we engage in conversations with artists, designers, and more. Today we speak with Kenneth King of Kingdom Home, an independent Australian creative studio that offers a unique range of fabric and wallpaper. And a quick warning to innocent ears. There is some explicit language in this episode, so if you're sensitive to the occasional F-bomb or there are little ones around, listener discretion is advised. But we hope you enjoy this conversation. If you do, please subscribe and consider leaving us a rating and review. Ken.
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you, man. How are you?
Good. Thanks for getting on with me today.
No worries. How are you?
I'm doing great. Just, living life on the West Coast.
Sounds amazing. So where are you now?
We're in Southern California, so.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Sounds beautiful.
Yeah, it's nice.
It is amazing.
Have you been here?
I've been only to LA.
Okay. That's basically where we are.
And I loved it.
Okay.
But
when did you visit?
I've seen OC.
Oh, you went to the OC?
No, I've seen OC. Is that the same thing?
Oh, you've seen OC. Well, Orange County is just south of LA County.
Okay,
So
but you guys have similar. Are you guys close to the beach and stuff?
Yeah. So basically, you got LA has the beaches of like Venice and Santa Monica Beach and Long Beach, and then below that you get into Orange County, where you get into Huntington Beach, Newport Beach, Laguna Beach, and all those places down that way. And then you get into San Diego County, which is below that.
That is fantastic, man. That's a lifestyle because you're just by the beach.
Yeah, I suppose. I suppose it's not too much different than being in some of the beach cities in Australia.
Oh yeah, is it as crazy price as it is here?
Oh, yeah, easily.
Okay.
Oh, probably maybe. You mean like
More?
a price of a home, real estate?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it's ridiculous. In California, it's
Okay.
just the land's not worth what people are paying right now, and unfortunately, everyone will probably find that out very shortly. So,
Okay. Well, that's the thing here too. You can live by the beach, but I think there's only select few that can do that.
yeah. Are you near the beach at all?
No, I'm in Lane Cove.
Okay.
It sounds
How
like
far is that?
Lane Cove is North Shore. It's very, very much in the sticks. Like it's bush everywhere. It's nice, but
Oh,
beach will be good.
I thought perhaps you were in the heart of Sydney, like CBD.
Oh no! I don't think I could do that. I used to be closer to the city, but then I moved further because we wanted more land for the dog.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, there you go. But he's right next
It's nice
to
to
me.
have a yard.
Oh yeah, he wants a yard, but he just goes there and eats mud and does nothing.
Maybe let's just dive into a little bit of your history. Because when I started with the company, you already had, I started, I think, in 2016, and you already had lots of designs with Milton and King by that time. So I had to kind of get to know all the different designs you had and the different colorways and all that kind of stuff.
Oh God,
Um,
dude. Yeah,
yeah.
thank you. That must be. Yeah. So I think I started similar time when Milton and King, I think, was sort of starting. I can only guess. And I actually approached you guys first. I needed someone to print like wallpaper as a stock option. I started working for Catherine Martin as a freelance designer. Catherine Martin, the lady who did, I think she was part of the Elvis movie, I'm guessing. She's the wife of Baz Luhrmann.
Okay.
Yeah, so I sent my portfolio out in the very beginning, just asking for work and stuff because I just left school. And Catherine Martin was one of the people that responded. So I did a little bit of stuff for her that turned into her homeware, but was all her work. I just helped very little. And I thought I could maybe give this a crack myself. So I designed a few things. Then I started selling it through an agent. And then I thought, oh, maybe I can do this on my own because the agent wasn't how do you put it? She was working really hard, but it just wasn't going where I wanted to go.
Mm-hmm.
So I approached Milton and King to say, hey, can you print this stuff for me, and maybe I can try selling myself to shops and stuff. And I think at that time it was Richard. He said, oh, do you want us to sell it? And I was like, that would be awesome. And that's sort of how it started.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
let's get back to, I mean, even I guess more of your origin story. So where did you grow up? Where were you born? Where were you always in
Sweet.
Australia?
Yeah, sweet. No, I was born in Hong Kong.
Okay.
So yeah, I was born in Hong Kong. I had a very actually boring childhood. It was fantastic. I don't really have anything too interesting to talk about apart from I had a great childhood. My family's great.
So how many brothers and sisters?
Oh, sweet. I have 3 sisters,
Okay.
and we all get along, which is quite sickening.
Do you still have ties to Hong Kong, or do you still have family there?
Yes, I do. I've got my sisters there. I don't really go back. I'm dying to travel. I'll go anywhere. So, but no, I haven't been back to Hong Kong simply due to the COVID restrictions. And yeah, so no, I haven't been back to Hong Kong.
Do you keep in touch?
Yeah, I saw them just a month ago.
Were they ever coming to visit you in Australia?
Yeah, we had some family things, so they came to visit, and yeah.
So how old were you when the family migrated to Australia?
I don't really remember, but I came to study year 11.
Okay, so you
So
were already a teenager.
yeah, I was pretty I
Okay.
was pretty old.
How did you find the transition? Was it difficult?
Yeah, it was because my English was shit, and I didn't understand what an essay was. But it wasn't like, but like it was easy because the people I met in Australia were really nice, and they were generally happy to help. But the
Mm-hmm.
actual academic transition was really difficult. But
Because you're
in
not just
Hong
learning a new
Kong,
language to speak, like even the writing is different, and so that's got to be really a tough
yeah, I
challenge.
wasn't completely clueless. Like obviously we did English in Hong Kong, but the level is just completely different. Um,
Yeah.
like in Hong Kong, when you answer a question on an essay, it's 2 lines, mate. But here, I was given a question once to answer an essay in school, and I was like, I put in 2 lines, apparently expected 2 pages. So that was
Mm,
the main difference.
yeah.
Um,
They want
so
you to
you just
follow the
learn to increase,
format.
yeah. So you just learn to increase the fonts and put a lot of spaces in between. Um, but apart from that, it's like the people here were super nice or helpful. So yeah, so we came to Australia. I really really loved it. I missed Hong Kong, but I just love Australia. It's so different. Like in Hong Kong, unlike the States, in Hong Kong you don't really have. I don't know if they have it now, but when I was in high school, you don't have arts. It doesn't exist. Like arts, I mean like drawing, painting. It's not part of the curriculum.
So
So if you want,
how did you develop that then?
um, I don't know. I just, sometimes you just like to do certain things. Like you just grew up doing certain things. I just always drew because my mum did.
So even as a
Um,
kid, outside of school, you were drawing all the time.
yeah, I was not good at anything. Like seriously, I was bad at everything but drawing. So obviously I got praised for that, but everything else was just down the toilet. So I kept on it, but that was it. So I just kept doing it. And my parents were actually quite cool. They were like, okay, just do whatever you're good at. So Um, I came to Australia and there was actually visual arts, and I did okay in it. And then
Did you go
I
to
felt
school
like
for it at
it's
all in Australia?
no, no. I just
Okay.
went to like a local high school, and then I did arts there. I wasn't particularly good actually, but I was average. But then it was just one of those things you keep thinking, okay, you try to figure a way out to use it to make a living.
Yeah.
And you try to sort of go, what can I do? So I started off illustrating for magazines, but then I mean this is morbid, but every single magazine I illustrated for has gone bye bye,
Yeah.
and I haven't been paid. So it was just one of those things. It's
Mm.
just it just was a bad idea, but and then I got this gig with Kath and Martin, like And then I thought maybe this is another way to turn this into a way to make a living. And that's when Milton and King, I think I'm just really grateful that they took me on board. And yeah, so that's part of the reason how it went there. Yeah.
So when you, I guess we're sort of figuring that out, and you
Mm,
did some art in the high school.
yeah.
Is that when you, because I'm guessing at some point you had to learn, like you went from just drawing on paper and sketching and things to learning Photoshop and learning Illustrator and learning those programs as
Oh
well.
yeah, dude. Yeah, I studied for that. So I finished high school, went to applied for visual communications UTS, did not get in, um, and I did interior design instead, hoping to change. Um, and I was such a dude. I was the only interior design student that did not know how to use a measure ruler by the end of it, and cannot read a scale ruler either. All my buildings out of whack. Apparently, my toilet is bigger than elevator and shit like that. But I passed. So, like, it's because I just didn't care. I just want to do graphics. I knew what I wanted to do. I just didn't get in, so I did interior just because I needed a degree, which is bad idea. Don't do that because then you have to pay bloody hex. So yeah, so I did interior design, left, but then it was that because of interior design that gave me the contacts to do some interior design work that led into the Catherine Martin thing a little bit. Yeah, so it's just sort of all worked out in the end. It's just the contacts in the end. So yeah, was it your question? I completely forgot your question. Sorry about this.
No, that's perfect. It's just it's
Yeah.
interesting how you sort of, it sounds to me like you were drawing, but you were sort of aimless with it, and then sort of trying
Oh,
to just
absolutely.
figure out where you
Yeah.
could go, and yeah, everything sort of just sounds to me like you kind of just took a leap of faith in different ways.
I think it's more insecurity, to be honest. Like I knew I needed a degree of something, and I honestly did not enjoy interior design because it was too precise and clean. I mean, dude, you're building shit, so you can't just go, whatever. This elevator outside, sticking out half out of building is fine. I mean, that's what I was doing at the time. But I'm not a precise person, so it was a little bit difficult. But I loved every second of it because I get to hang out with friends and stuff. But um, I knew it wasn't for me. And funny enough, I got offered a job after I graduated. These people are nuts. I mean, seriously, they probably really just want buildings that collapse. So fantastic. But you know what I mean? Like, I hated the job because it was just CAD work, which I didn't actually know how to do, and I pretended. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I took a job in actual selling furniture. It was my first job after I
Oh wow.
graduated. Yeah, and that was it. And then I also have just if in anyone's listening to the podcast, if you ever do stuff on your own, try to have a second job. And I still have a second job now, so which is very, very useful.
Huh. So is it safe to say then that art is still what, a moonlighting type of thing for you?
Um, it's how do I put this? I enjoy doing art, but it does become a chore if you have to use it to pay the bills, I think, for me. Um, and you will just stop enjoying it. So I'm lucky enough to have a second job. I've worked in it for actually close to 15 years, just in sales, and they're really easygoing. It is luckily still in the design market, but because of that financially, when I do design stuff, it's not so much as a chore.
Yeah.
It becomes more like I'll do it because I love it. And plus, if I do freelance commission work, like custom work, I can pick and choose ones that I really want to do. So it's just really that. I rarely get stressed over that because I always have something to fall back on.
That's
And I
really
know,
actually quite interesting. I am, not to cut you off, but I
yeah.
think I feel like it's a bit of a foreign concept that maybe in the future will become maybe a bit more accepted, only because in the world of art, whether it's drawing or music or whatever it is, it's not very profitable. It's not very lucrative. It's very, very, very small percentage of people are successfully, well, I would say, like, let's say wealthy doing that by itself. So you're in a lot of ways, you always hear about the poor artist, and that's because,
Yeah, of course.
either because it's not appreciated, or it's, there's a lot of people doing it, or, you know what I mean? It's a weird sort of marketplace to be in. And so having the idea of, in some ways, you're keeping the art more pure because it's still a passion project, and you're not relying on it to pay the bills or to put food on your table. And once that happens, maybe it takes some of the,
Oh,
you know,
dude, it would just freaking take all the air out of it, man. Like seriously, I think when I wish that was like I think what you said was totally relevant. Like there's so like with me, I still do every single fucking thing. And Milton King is awesome, absolutely fantastic. But I still do a bit of custom work, and then I still do the everything from website to very bad social media. I wish I can do it like you, but fuck, man, it's so hard. Like it is so fucking hard to write captions. Um, I fucking hate it. And then, like, then you have to do the designs, and then you organize the prints for the everything. So it is a bit of a chore at times. But then, like, what I keep thinking of, and I absolutely pour myself of black holes when I have a bad day is like when my dad passed away. I kept thinking it's going to happen to me. It's going to happen to everyone. So just fucking do it. Like, who gives a shit? You're going to die anyway. So very encouraging to young kids. Like, just bloody do it, mate. Like, we all gonna be heading in the same direction. So you might as well do it now because you won't have the chance afterwards, and just give it a crack. So I think that really helps me to just do shit, knowing that time's running out. So it's important for me to do what I love to do, and just like you, like maybe have a record. I don't know, like is it important? But with Milton and King, it keeps me in check, because you have people that like you stuck. I use Bethany as an example. I see her work and I just go, fuck, I wish I did that shit. It's so beautiful. So you go, you know what? I'm going to come up with something that's in my mind equally nice. But it's a competitive thing, but it's not negative. But for me, it's almost like I like seeing that because it just makes me go, wow.
well, it's
I wish
inspiring
I
and it's
did
a
this.
challenge.
Yeah, because like I knew Bethany before she joined Milton and King, and I always loved her stuff. And now it's more like that's fantastic. It just inspires me. So I really enjoy it, and I like to do it. And I love work. So for me, it's never a chore.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
That's awesome. Um,
yeah. Thank you.
so just getting in, I wanted to get into some of the designs because, yeah, like I said, I've had to, obviously become familiar with so many of them, and there are a ton.
I know. Fucking hell. Sorry about that. Jesus Christ.
Um, but there's some that really just stand out. I mean, some of them do really well. Like they're always kind of our top sellers, and but the ones that I became familiar with in the very beginning, I'm just sort of browsing through your site because the way that your site's set up, it has it in these different collections. And I think the first ones that I was familiar with was the one you call the Voyage collection, or is it
Oh
Voyage?
God, I hated that collection. I just hate to say this. I tell you why I did that collection, because my previous agent wanted something like that.
Uh huh.
Um, I shouldn't say I hate it. How should I put it? I didn't do it because I wanted to do it. I did it because they said, "Oh, we needed something that's like damask look. You know that sort of look, the
Yeah.
damask
Mm-hmm.
Frenchy blah." So what I did was I went to bloody Dimmicks. Oh, not Dimmicks. Kinokuniya, which is a bookshop in Australia that sounds like an 80s Japanese rock band. And then I bought some Dover's books.
I don't know. I don't know what that is.
Dover's is art books that actually come with patterns that you can reference.
Okay.
So I bought a bunch of Dover's art books and found a bunch of patterns I liked, and then worked them back into repeats, and then changed it to make it look a bit more unique. So that's how I did that collection,
Okay.
and it was out of necessity. I thought the agents maybe they said the market needed that, and I thought, okay, great. So there you go.
So when you Well, you were talking about you're working it into repeats.
Yeah,
Do you? I guess because I've talked to a few different artists, and
yeah,
it seems like some people just have different methods. So when you're like, let's say when you did the Abu Dhabi design,
yeah.
did you hand draw that?
That one I did actually. Yeah, that one I traced an original design, and then what I did was I just added textures to it. So yeah, I did, but I
And so
didn't draw the act. Yeah.
so I was saying, so did you hand draw the repeat, or did you just hand draw like one repeat and then you put it into
Oh, of course, I hand
Illustrator and
drew
then
one thing. Yeah, I hand drew one thing, then traced it in free traced it in Illustrator, and then worked the repeat from there. Yeah,
okay. And so when you
yeah.
deliver a design, you deliver it as a repeat already.
Depends what the client asks. I mean, for Milton and King, yes, I would be, and then Bryce usually comes back and said, "Why is there this line here?" And I'd be like, "Well, racist." Just kidding. So what I usually do is with Offered in Milton and King, I would do the repeat. But then, for example, some customers, I will just go like because I supply like on the other side of the spectrum, the custom work we install too. So sometimes they don't even see anything; they just see the image, and then the next thing you know, it's on their walls.
Yeah.
The custom side.
Right.
Is that your
Okay.
question? I feel like I might be deviating again.
No, no, that's
Yeah.
fine. I mean, like I just think I think it's all a bit interesting. The Deco collection, I think, was the one that came out right after I had started working for Milton and King, and so that was to me the newest one when I just got started.
Oh,
And
cool.
the leopard wallpaper is still to this day is seems to be a favorite of so many people.
It's my favorite too. I saw the documentary on Valentino, and I saw they made a couture gown for Andre Leon Talley. And I can't remember how it looked. Like in my mind, that's how it looked.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember how it looked at the time, but I remember it was amazing, rah, rah, rah. But then I deliberately didn't look at it again because I just didn't want to look too similar.
Mm-hmm.
But that was the idea, was something like that actually almost can work as a fashion print. Was very regal, something that you can do like a kimono or something in with it. And that was sort of the idea of the leopard. And that I drew because leopards, I like drawing animals.
So you did hand draw that one,
Yeah, that one I did. Yeah, and then again, free trace in Illustrator.
right?
Yeah, we should really get royalty from bloody Adobe, like 10 cents per mention.
So when you did that, you literally just looked at it once and then you sort of like kind of put it out of your mind. Because I was wondering like how much, you were responding to the fashion of it. Did
Yes.
you do much research outside of
No.
that at all? So it was
No.
just like you were just drawing from memory.
Yeah, and I try to do that because I always like to rush through things and then regret 10% afterwards. I find myself if I sit on things for too long, research for too long, I end up not doing anything. So with a design, I try to just literally, if I don't know what I'm doing, I'm just going to draw something and then voila, and then see how it goes. Sometimes I do really shit stuff, but half the time I think it works because I force myself to at least get stuff done.
So that leads me to a question.
Sure.
How often do you create something that you trash?
All the time, like every day. I design something every day, not brand new. Like I work on a new design every day. Maybe a lot, heaps. I don't know how, maybe at least one a day.
Hmm. Do you
Yeah.
do you make that part of like a routine work schedule where you go, okay, I have to put 1 hour into designing something every day, or how do you?
No, it's in between. Like I usually just I love designing. I really do. This sounds sickening, but it's like people have a lot of ideas in your head. But the issue is if the idea's in your head and you don't do it, it's not an idea. Like it's just not valid. I feel. So I find that if you have a design in your head and you bring it out, sometimes it's it makes it valid, but you also have to then put in a lot of work to translate that on paper. And I love doing that. I absolutely fucking love doing that. So yeah, so every day I do heaps, and sometimes it looks great in my head, but when you put it on paper, it looks like dog's breakfast. And you know what? Move on. See you later. There you go.
So you find yourself just naturally putting in that time every day. It's not something that you
Yeah, yeah,
schedule.
yeah. I mean, I have no life, dude. Seriously, I love design. My life is walking the dog, and going to the gym, um, playing tennis. I'm quite good at it. Are you good at tennis?
I'm not any good.
I'm not good at it, but I love it. So I love tennis. So I play tennis and I love design. So my work schedule usually is like I wake up around 9, 10. Oh God, why am I lying to the world? To the 5 listeners, I wake up at 11. Um, and then I'll walk the dog, get a coffee, and then just work until midnight or 1 or 2 in the morning because I really love what I do.
Yeah.
And just design because I've got so many ideas in my head, like heaps.
And so, because you said you're still working another job, are you still,
Yeah.
is your other job still like a 9 to 5 in terms of the daily
It's
hours that you're
full
putting
time
into it?
ish, yeah, sort of, yeah, sort of, yeah. But they're flexible.
Okay.
Um, I don't know. I don't mind. I've been working 7 days for 10 years at least of my life,
Mm-hmm.
like 7 days a week. So it's like whatever, mate. Like I can do it. I used to work Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, every day, and then I'll come home and do my like these freelance work. Um, yeah. So yeah, I think it's for me. It's like I'd rather that than not do anything. I guess because I don't know what to do. I really don't. I mean, we're going to walk around the streets and I don't know, look at trees. I don't. I honestly don't know how to spend time.
I was just going through some more of your designs that I kind of just wanted to go over. So we talked about the leopard. The
Yeah.
other one that really stands out that's seems to get a lot of love is the cranes one.
Oh
Um,
yeah. Okay. The cranes ones is it's easy. I don't know why I did that. So there you go.
no idea, huh?
I I know it was one of those like I look, dude. When I work, I like to watch TV. Um, and I was watching TV and I just thought I'd just do something. I seriously that was it.
Huh.
I have no rhyme or reason for that one. I wish. I was watching telly and I thought four is unlucky in Asian culture, so I have to do a fifth design because it's 5 designs and it's a lucky number. So
Hmm.
not lucky, but it's not unlucky. You don't do four. Four means death in Asian culture, so you just don't touch that. And that's why a lot of times you go to hotels, there's no fourth floor. Just letting you know.
Is that right? So it's like the
Yeah, yeah.
13th thing here.
Oh
Because
yeah, exactly. So if you go to hotels and stuff, a lot of times you just don't see floor number 4
interesting.
because Asians would never live on that floor. So I just thought I'd do the fifth one, and then I I just came over that. Look, the crane, the Beyond screens, like the Japanese gold screens, always had beautiful cranes on it.
Hmm.
So that was obviously the starting point of that. So that's about it. And I thought it'd be lovely if but then you have to work them into repeat, right?
Yeah.
So then you have to tile them to make them look like they're soaring through the sky. So it's a good design. I like it. I mean, my favorite would be the Wave Bloom Our Collection because I drew that. But um, apart from that, yeah, I mean that's probably my favorite collection out of all.
Okay. Yeah, I really like the plum blossom from that collection too.
Yeah, but it's not selling, eh?
Um, I haven't looked at the sales figures, but I mean, for me, every time I see that one to me is stunning. Like, actually, it's there's I don't know if you're familiar with the one room challenge that happens
Yeah, I
twice
am
a
very
year.
familiar. Yes.
So one of the ladies that's participating is using one of the plum blossom designs on this
Oh,
round. So
cool. Oh, that is awesome. Oh, thank you. I that's one of my favorites. Absolutely love it.
yeah, so we
Um,
should be seeing some really great photos and videos of that one.
yeah, absolutely love that design. So it's like from another era, like this the bygone era. Because that was inspired by some really vintage photo. Because my dad grew up in Japan.
Okay.
Yeah, he escaped war and escaped to Japan. Um, so he grew up in Japan and had like massive influence from Japan. His studies, he speaks fluent Japanese. Um, so we grew up knowing a lot of Japanese things like culture, designs, and things too. So it does bring back good memories. It's a bit like Disneyland. I look at it and it's just good memories.
So your dad left Hong Kong and went to Japan, or what left?
China. I think he didn't tell us much. Like he's got one of those weird. I'm sure a lot of fathers have a strange like upbringing that he doesn't share with all his kids, and he's one of those. But from what I know, he escaped war. I think his father, my dad's father, my grandfather had to escape for political reasons, and he left my father in Japan for safety, I guess, but to fend for himself. He was literally left there by himself.
Hmm.
So my father had to do everything, like bring himself up literally in Japan. So that was the story.
That's interesting because from my understandings, there was a lot of animosity between the Japanese and the Chinese.
Yeah, there is. The younger generation, again, I can't speak for anyone, and especially to the now two listeners. Um, I personally don't really think. I don't know if the younger generation thinks like that much more. Or maybe the old now
Right.
they're
No, but I
more
mean at the
focused.
time, I think was that
Oh yeah. Yes. But my father's very. I think at heart he feels Japanese and like he's Chinese,
hmm.
but because he grew up in Japan, he understood that a lot of bad things are not really people related.
Yeah.
In that sense, where a lot of human beings like me and you, or I know a lot of people from China, like just human beings, they just try to live their life, and they just they're not part of the fabric who's causing all this trouble,
Right.
because they really have nothing to gain from that, seriously. And this is a totally relevant subject, but I personally don't think the Russian thing, like Putin is not Russia.
Right. He's a guy with
Like
his own ambitions.
he's just on his own. He's on his own mission because he's got his own agenda. But I don't believe the Russians, the people who live there, should be blamed because they're just trying, just like us, living our life, trying to pay bills, make ends meets, bring the kids up. I don't
Right.
know. It's one of the things. So when you say Japan, and it's a very relevant point, but I feel like my dad was just trying to um, live, and therefore he didn't really see the conflict as anything beyond just nothing to do with him. He was just trying to
Right.
make a living. So you're right, absolutely right. There was conflict between China and Japan politically, but just like anyone, we were just too busy living.
Right. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're busy with living, you sometimes just go, fuck, man, I have no time for this bullshit. So you just go, fuck, I want to pay my next bill. Stuff like that.
Right. This is just sort of a side note, just because I'm clicking through things here. And one of the things I've always thought about, interesting things about some of your art, is you're not afraid to get a bit macabre. We have like the skull and bee, and there was the one with the fruit with the skulls and stuff that seemed pretty dark.
Oh, yeah,
Uh,
I would love to do dark shit, man. I just don't think they'll sell.
well, yeah, they don't, because people typically don't really want skulls on their walls, like generally speaking. But it is interesting that there's that aspect of your art that I see kind of peek through once in a while.
But think about McQueen. Like I wish interior. Well, I don't wish actually. I don't know because I really like stuff that. And for my next collection, I had ideas that are just absolutely bonkers. But I kept thinking, oh, fucking Milton King is not going to want this shit. So I don't know. Look, my head has a lot of things I think would be really hilarious and fun and very different. But would it sell? That's a problem. Commerce versus design. So, what was your question? I'm sorry, I just went completely south
It
again.
wasn't
I
really a
apologize.
question. It was just sort of like a notice
Yeah,
that, like, oh, you have this aspect of your design. Like, you're you're pretty versatile in terms of the type of stuff that you'll do. And I'm, assuming that it's like you just said, like whether it sells or not. It seems that at least your interests vary. You know what I mean, in terms of what you're going to spend your time doing. So everything from, you have your Australia collection with the koala bears and all that kind of stuff, and then you've got
yeah,
your master's collection that has this stuff that's inspired by Monet, and then you've got this,
yeah,
kind of dark, kind of macabre stuff. It's there's a little bit of all sorts within
yeah,
what you'll touch on, because there's some people that will only do birds and flowers, you know what I mean, or something, and
yeah.
it's
Um,
you definitely seem to have a wide range of things that you'll that
I
you'll do?
think it's not that I'm. Look, I have. How do I put this? I I like everything. Like when I see something, not sometimes when you hear a song, it doesn't matter what genre. It's a good song. It's a good song. So like Taylor Swift, I love Taylor. I think her songs are actually really good. Um, Regardless if you like her or not, I think she actually. Do you like her?
I think she writes great songs. Yeah.
I agree. I really agree. So I like for her, I like her, and then I listen to other I mean, I say I listen to rock. Sometimes I listen to some random rock stuff, and I was like, this is really good. Like I can't believe the riff is so amazing. I don't understand it, but I love it. So when you design, I feel like a lot of times I see different designs, like the skulls and stuff. I came up with that because I really like Alexander McQueen. Um, and I think it's his style is it's almost psychotic because his brain is psychotic. He's a very disturbed human, but a genius. Have you seen his documentary?
No, I haven't.
McQueen and I, it's insane. Like he's absolutely someone that is so disturbed, but is so because maybe he's such a genius. So that was sort of I was like the skull thing. Why not touch on that because I like that sort of look. And then you look at something else like the tropical stuff that just sells like. And it's like that will pay my bills. Um, the guy who did that older gentleman, is it Michael McCain? What his name was?
Oh yeah, the actor.
Yeah, yeah. Is that his
Yeah,
name?
I believe so. Yeah,
I remember in the
Michael
interview they
Caine.
asked Michael Caine. Yes, sorry,
Yeah,
Michael
yeah.
McCain. Jesus fucking Christ, what am I on about? So Michael Caine asked him if he was in Mummy 3. I don't even know that. Do you know that?
No, I've never seen that.
Mummy 3, don't. So they actually, and it's got panned, and then they're like, "What are your thoughts on Mummy 3?" Like it's because it was so badly reviewed, and he's like, he's never seen it, but he bought his mother a very beautiful house that he's seen. That was his answer. So sometimes, like I do designs knowing that I personally don't like it as much, but I think it would sell.
Yeah,
And sometimes I do things because I just want to do it, but then I know it's probably not going to sell. So that's why I do everything.
yeah. No, I mean
Yeah,
that makes sense, and it's a good balance. To have as long as you're balancing the economical part with what you love.
yeah. You got to balance art and commerce, or else you just won't survive in this world. Like it's you can do stuff you love if it sells great, but then sometimes it's like you just got to do stuff that's in trend,
Yeah,
and then you can go and do stuff that. Or else, to be honest, I think Milton and King will have no interest in working with me if all I do shit is what I love, but then it just there's no impact for them. So you
right.
have to respect the partnership too. If you ever, not you, but the now one listener who just can't find off button,
Yep.
like you have to respect partnerships too because you need to be able to go. If you partner with someone like Milton and King or whoever, what they do, you need to give them something that they can sell. That's
Right.
respectful.
Right.
Yeah.
So
So
I'll end with this.
sure.
So what's in the future? What's next? Is it top secret, or are you working
No,
on something
fuck no.
that
I
you're
don't do
proud
that
of?
shit.
Or
No. I'm hoping to do a bunch of badly behaved jungle designs. Like instead of just like tropical, I'm thinking of doing bad monkeys. Maybe some of them are smoking pot. Do you think they'll sell that shit?
there could be a market for that. I have no idea, but I think it's definitely what's
Do you
interesting about
smoke?
that.
Is this
No,
legal? You don't.
well, I don't smoke personally, but in California, yeah, you can go to a marijuana
It's
shop.
legal, right?
Yeah.
Um, so I was thinking like maybe like monkeys drinking, smoking, but in a very traditional layout of a tropical design.
Mm-hmm.
So when you look closer, it's like a bunch of just out of control partying, not partying, but playing cards and stuff.
Yeah.
And then some other ones could be something a little bit more tame. But I really want to do something that is just fun
Yeah,
and
that
and
does sound fun.
slightly yeah, and just requires people to look at it. Because I used to do stuff like that, but then I just thought, oh, fuck, it might not sell. So I think I just pulled the plug on those shit. But I thought, look, maybe you can ask Bryce. If Bryce thinks that's absolute dog shit, then no, I'll do something else.
Well, it's always kind of cool to do art as well, where there's an initial impression, and then you go, oh, wait a minute. When you look at it and you go, like, there's more to it to discover as you look at it. Like I remember with the Great Wave Bloom one, I didn't
Yeah.
like, you just see these big sort of floral looking waves, and then you're like, oh wait, there's guys in a canoe in there, and
Yeah, that's my favorite. Thank you. I really that I worked very fucking hard to make that into a fucking repeat and a flower. That was one of the that was a difficult one.
Yeah, so it's
because
cool.
there was no reference point. That one.
It has no what?
No reference point. So that the reference obviously was the beautiful Great Wave Bloom artwork. But to make that into a flower, there was really no reference point. It was just more like trial and error to make it look like one.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a lot of work involved, and I really, really loved that one.
That's awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to the partying monkeys or smoking lions or whatever.
Oh, dude, come on. Yeah, thank you. If you ask Bryce, if he has a heart attack, then just, we'll move on.
We'll close it out here.
Fuck, man. And there you go.
Thank you for joining me on this. And
you too. Yeah, you have to stop me from talking. I talk so much crap. There you go.
And it'll be entertaining. People will love it. I promise.
Yes, the one person who can't find the off button pull thing. I mean, they're struggling now. They're probably like literally trying to find the place to unplug the whole thing just so this can stop.
just throw your phone. That'll do the trick.
Like, dude, good luck finding a cable. Come on, good luck finding off button. Good luck. Have fun. Anyway, thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
All right, thanks, Ken. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your Thursday.
All right, you too, buddy. Thank you so much.
All right, see ya.
See you, mate. Bye.